When Karoline Leavitt walked onto the set of Jimmy Kimmel Live, no one expected the interview to spiral into one of the most talked-about moments in late-night TV history. The rising GOP star and the late-night comedian, known for his sharp wit and liberal leanings, collided in a way that quickly ignited social media and set the internet ablaze. What started as a routine guest segment turned into a heated on-air clash that ended with Leavitt being abruptly removed from the stage. But what really happened? And was she actually kicked off, or was there more going on behind the scenes? Let's rewind. Karoline Leavitt, a former Trump White House staffer and current congressional candidate, has never been one to shy away from controversy. Her presence in the political world has been marked by bold statements, a loyal conservative base, and a knack for creating headlines. When she was announced as a guest on Kimmel's show, political circles knew sparks might fly. But no one was ready for this level of drama. The segment began with the usual small talk. Kimmel greeted her with a forced smile, and Leavitt returned with cool confidence. The audience was split. Some cheered, others booed, and the tension was thick from the get-go. Kimmel opened by poking fun at her ties to Trump, tossing out one of his signature jabs. "So, Karoline, you're here to make late night great again." A few chuckles followed, but Leavitt didn't miss a beat. She fired back. "At least I'm not making it unwatchable like you have the past few years." That line hit like a punch, and the energy in the room shifted. Gasps, laughter, a few scattered claps. The duel had begun. Kimmel tried to steer the conversation toward her policies, but Leavitt quickly took control, questioning Kimmel's political knowledge and accusing him of being a Hollywood mouthpiece for the DNC. She criticized his constant jabs at conservatives, suggesting that his comedy had become more about scoring political points than entertaining audiences. Kimmel smirked and responded, "That's rich coming from someone who worked in an administration that treated facts like optional accessories." That's when the conversation took a darker turn. Leavitt didn't hold back. She began detailing what she called the left-wing hypocrisy of mainstream media and late-night television. She pointed out how conservative voices are mocked, silenced, and ridiculed, while liberal figures are celebrated uncritically. "You invite conservatives on your show just to humiliate them," she said. "But I'm not here to play that game." Kimmel, visibly annoyed, leaned forward and said, "You're not playing a game, Karoline. You're pushing a narrative, a dangerous one." The crowd erupted. Some cheered, others booed. The tension had reached a boiling point. Then came the moment that would go viral. Leavitt, clearly done with the back and forth, turned to Kimmel and asked, "Do you even care about real Americans, or just what your Hollywood friends think?" Before Kimmel could respond, a producer could be seen, stepping onto the edge of the stage. There was a pause, a brief murmur between Kimmel and the producer, and then Kimmel turned to the audience and said, "We're going to take a quick break." When the show returned, Karoline Leavitt was gone. No explanation, no farewell, no wrap-up, just gone. The internet exploded. Within minutes, Karoline Leavitt was trending on X, formerly Twitter, with hashtags like Kimmel Meltdown and Leavitt Kicked Off going viral. Clips from the interview, particularly the sharpest exchanges, were reposted across platforms, racking up millions of views within hours. But the big question remained, was she really kicked off the show? Sources close to the production offered conflicting accounts. Some claimed that Leavitt walked off voluntarily during the commercial break after being told her segment would be cut short. Others said producers asked her to leave due to the disruptive tone of the interview. A spokesperson for ABC didn't clarify, only stating, "The segment ended earlier than expected due to scheduling adjustments." Karoline Leavitt, for her part, leaned into the controversy. She took to social media almost immediately, posting a clip of the interview with the caption, "I stood up to Jimmy Kimmel and the Hollywood elite, and they couldn't handle it." In follow-up interviews, she claimed that Kimmel's team tried to ambush her and that the entire show was designed to provoke her into a reaction. "They didn't expect me to fight back," she said. "But I did. and I won't apologize for speaking the truth. Jimmy Kimmel, meanwhile, addressed the incident briefly on the next night's show, quipping, "Last night's guest left early. I guess she had a Fox News hit to run to." He didn't go into further detail, likely hoping to move on from the debacle. But by then, the damage, or the impact, was already done. The clash between Karoline Leavitt and Jimmy Kimmel wasn't just a viral moment. It was a snapshot of America's deepening cultural divide. A late-night show that once served as light-hearted entertainment had become a battleground for ideological warfare. And in that battle, both sides saw what they wanted to see. To conservatives, Leavitt emerged as a fighter, someone unafraid to challenge liberal institutions on their own turf. Her supporters hailed her performance as fearless, honest, and emblematic of the new generation of right-wing firebrands who won't be bullied by Hollywood. To liberals, the incident was another example of far-right grandstanding, a calculated stunt by a media-savvy politician looking to score viral points. They accused her of baiting the host, hijacking the interview, and playing the victim when things didn't go her way. But regardless of your political leanings, one thing is certain. Karoline Leavitt made an impression. And in the world of modern politics, especially in the era of social media, that matters more than ever. In the days following the interview, Leavitt's campaign donations reportedly spiked, and several conservative pundits invited her onto their shows to talk about the confrontation. Meanwhile, Kimmel's ratings received a noticeable bump, thanks in part to viewers tuning in to see how he'd respond. So, who really won the showdown? It depends on who you ask. But one thing's for sure, Karoline Leavitt's clash with Jimmy Kimmel will be studied, memed, and dissected for a long time to come. In a media landscape where viral moments define narratives, this was one for the books. And whether she was kicked off or walked off, Karoline Leavitt left an undeniable mark, not just on Kimmel's stage, but on the broader conversation about politics, media, and who controls the narrative in American culture. Stay tuned, because if this moment proved anything, it's that the battle for the spotlight is only getting louder. And the aftermath? It didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. Within 24 hours, Leavitt appeared on multiple conservative outlets, from Fox News to the Daily Wire, turning the late-night controversy into a full-blown media tour. On each appearance, she doubled down on her stance, claiming that her removal from the stage was proof that the left doesn't want to hear the truth. She framed the experience as a badge of honor, saying, "If standing up for my values gets me booted off a Hollywood stage, so be it. I'll wear that like a medal." Supporters ate it up. Comment sections lit up with praise. Memes circulated with captions like "Karoline 1, Kimmel 0, and "Silenced for speaking the truth." Her followers branded her a freedom fighter, and some even started jokingly referring to her as Karoline the Cancelled, flipping the usual narrative of cancellation on its head. But not everyone saw her as the victor. Media watchdogs and liberal commentators pushed back hard. They accused Leavitt of orchestrating the entire moment, claiming it was a calculated political stunt designed to go viral and energize her base. One op-ed in a major paper read, "Leavitt didn't get silenced, she hijacked the platform," and cried censorship when it didn't go her way. Others argued that the moment revealed just how polarized media has become, with talk shows now being used as political battlegrounds rather than spaces for thoughtful dialogue or light entertainment. Still, the buzz wouldn't die down. Clips of the segment continued to trend. Reactions poured in from all corners. Late-night hosts like Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers even made jokes about the fiasco, while conservative influencers praised Leavitt for crashing the liberal echo chamber. Even some centrist voices chimed in, pointing out that while both parties had valid points, the real issue was how rare it's become to see civil conversation between people who disagree politically. One major takeaway? We're in a new era of political media, where the lines between politician, influencer, and provocateur are becoming more blurred every day. What happened between Karoline Leavitt and Jimmy Kimmel was more than just a viral TV moment. It was a culture war skirmish broadcast live to millions. And Leavitt's political future may have just been supercharged by it. Her campaign saw a measurable boost in engagement. Her name recognition jumped significantly, especially among younger, conservative voters. Her merch line, yes, she launched one days after the incident, featured shirts with slogans like "Uncancelable" and "I survived Kimmel." Like it or not, she had turned a tense, controversial moment into a branding win. As for Kimmel, the incident sparked debate among his own viewers. Some felt he should have allowed the conversation to play out, no matter how uncomfortable it got. Others praised him for maintaining control and not giving a platform to misinformation. But even Kimmel's team likely knew that whether people loved it or hated it, they were watching. And that's what matters in television. Industry insiders began speculating whether this could change the way future guests are booked. Would shows become more hesitant to invite political figures from the opposing side? Or would they double down, hoping for another ratings boost from the next viral clash? More importantly, what does this say about our ability to engage in public discourse? Karoline Leavitt's brief, fiery appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live showed that even a few minutes of unscripted tension can ripple across the nation. It demonstrated how polarizing figures don't even need a full interview to make an impact. They just need a spark, a moment, a soundbite. And Leavitt knew exactly what she was doing. She understood the assignment. Say something that cuts through, make people uncomfortable, and walk away with the upper hand in the court of public opinion, or at least within her own base. In today's political landscape, that's all it takes to dominate a news cycle. By week's end, petitions were circulating both supporting and condemning Leavitt's appearance. Some called for Kimmel to issue a public apology, while others demanded ABC never invite her back. The irony? Both sides ended up boosting each other's platforms in the process. The controversy didn't silence anyone, it just gave them more microphones. Looking ahead, this moment will likely be used in Leavitt's campaign materials. Expect to see snippets of the exchange in fundraising emails, rally speeches, and social media ads. It wasn't just a guest spot. It was a strategic move in the larger game of attention, narrative, and influence. And if you thought this was the end of her media presence, think again. Karoline Leavitt has already hinted at future media appearances and possibly even launching her own podcast or show. Her team is leaning into the idea that she's not just a politician. She's a voice for silenced conservatives who want to be heard in traditionally liberal spaces. This wasn't a meltdown. This was a launch pad. So, what have we learned? Late night. Television isn't just entertainment anymore. It's a reflection of our fractured politics. Politicians aren't just lawmakers. They're performers, influencers, brand builders. And moments like the Kimmel-Leavitt showdown prove that in the age of virality, one appearance, one clash, can change everything. Whether you cheered her on or rolled your eyes, Karoline Leavitt made her mark. And love her or hate her, she's not going anywhere. The question now is, who's next? Because in the world of viral politics, there's always another battle brewing, another platform to storm, another headline to make, another culture war moment waiting to explode. And you can bet someone is already planning their next move, camera ready, mic'd up, and ready to go viral.